Cookies and cream? Really? That's how we rocking?
You threw in a new one, huh?
Yeah,
I kind of look like a cookie and cream today.
I like somebody who changes it up, who likes to spice things up a little
Right.
bit.
I'm kind of looking like a cookie, no?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And cream, yeah.
Are we on?
It says live.
Oh, did he freeze?
He did.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? We're live. We're back. There we go.
There you go.
You froze.
There we go. Do my dance. Do my dance.
Wait, where's the link?
As always, just give us a quick second. We're about to send out these links to everybody. You know how we do. You know how we do. We go through this every week with y'all. Every week. Gotta send out the links
the slow one.
for the people.
Always the slow one. But I know who's gonna come on first. It's gonna be my girl. Where's she at?
So I hope everybody's out there in YouTube land has had a good week. This is our first time doing a show on Friday. We're actually going to do one more show like this next Friday. So please, everybody, tune in for that as well. We're going to get into all of that. This wonderful gentleman that you see on the screen. I know you're wondering, like, who is that? What? So we're going to get into all of that, but as the per usual, we got to send out these links to other people, and please share this with everybody in your circle. We have a goal of 1,000 subs. We want to be the next YouTube channel to hit that mark. Right now we're at 405. Thank you everybody that has already subscribed, that tunes in regularly. The usual suspects, shout out to all of y'all, wonderful people. But our goal is 1,000 subs. Please help us get there. Share, like, subscribe, all of that.
I'm almost there. Hold on. I'm getting there. I don't know.
I got one more link. I got two more people. That's it.
This is like,
y'all know how we do.
They know. They're used to it.
I know, right? This is all part of the show. It just builds.
It's the preamble.
Is that what it is? It builds
the preamble.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Watching me swipe left and right here.
All right, last one. Here we go, everybody.
I'm on the last one too.
Hold on, where'd it go? It just disappeared on me. There we go. All right, last one. Bam. There we go. All righty. Boom. All right. Bam.
Sending out some links myself.
See, that's there it is. Okay. All right. Everybody good?
Almost. I'm getting there.
She's still working on it.
Still working.
Oh, I don't know what it is. It's a lot of people I'm trying to connect with.
I think it's the new AKA that's the cookies and cream part.
Right? Oh, okay. The house is packed today.
Everyone's on. Hi, everybody.
We got some people in here today.
We're so glad you're back. We missed y'all. We missed y'all.
I'm finished.
You finished?
Yes.
I'm finished too. You know, I'm American finished, but I'm finished.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I'm the guest, so I'm gonna laugh either way. So
like, okay, that was really funny. Okay, good, cool. Let's go.
That was funnier than my joke. Thank you for the save. All right, so you ready to give it to him? Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm
Well,
definitely ready. I've been looking forward to it.
He didn't practice the yo part, and I've been here almost a year, and I still don't know how to do it. So let's just.
She's gonna learn. It's gonna sink in one day. One day it's coming. It's coming. But
Have you
guys
practiced?
ready?
Is the question. Have you even tried?
Nice. Let's do it. All right, here we go.
That's a
Here
good
we go.
question.
Yo, let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go. Countdown. 1, 2, 3. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Frosty McNuggetts. And if this is your first time tuning in, we're a local online news show. We talk about local, national, and international news. Again, I am your co-host, Frosty McNuggetts.
And Frosty Knowledge, aka Cookies and Cream.
And we have a special guest, the one, the only Frosty Run, aka B Run, aka the man with the plan. He got the podcast, runs house.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on. I am very excited. As I've said before, Miss Knowledge has been on my show 3 different times. I've had Oreo on with her too, and like I said, we missed you the last time, so we're gonna have to get you in on the next one. But I'm very excited to be here with you guys, and I enjoy your show.
And tell the people why you're stuck in the closet.
Okay,
yeah, we gotta let people know, because they probably they like, wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, we don't want any misnomers here. I have the only place in my house where I have 2 doors where I can shut out the dog and the cat. Otherwise, they'd be screaming and meowing and barking. So it's the only place where I can get peace and quiet. So that's why you see the clothes here behind me.
Yeah, nothing is for sale. So
nothing is for sale. Well, I don't know. Maybe this thing is. Maybe there might be a few, so don't say that yet.
We'll have listings in the description after the show.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes.
Someone just asked if Oreo lost weight.
If what?
How about
if Oreo just lost weight?
Yo, that's funny. So we're gonna do like we always do. So Miss Knowledge, I'm gonna actually have to pass this off to Frosty Run. If you would like to let us know, let the people know how's your week been so far since last Thursday.
Well, the week personally is fine. Nationally, it's not. So it really depends on what we're talking about here. But the weeks seem to, first of all, this whole year is just, it's hard to break it down into one week, because the year is as crazy as anything that I've ever seen in my lifetime and probably ever will. So, to break it down in a week, I didn't get coronavirus. That's good. I didn't see any fist fights or anything like that about somebody not wearing a mask, which is good. So the week has been fine. Nice. I'm starting to feel a little anxious about the coming weeks. But other than that, it's been a good week. Like I said, no coronavirus, and I have a job, so I can say it's been a good week.
Yes. What about you, Miss Knowledge? How has your, or AKA Cookies and Cream, how's your week been?
Good. I got my flu shot. So I am happy about that. They had them in. Last time I went in for my physical, he did not have them in, and that was at the end of August. They were on back order. So I got it. My arm is still sore, and I'm not even being a baby because I have a high pain threshold, but I'm like, wow, this really is sore. I got this little thing in the mail. If you plan to vote by mail, plan ahead, from the post office. So that, wow. I mean, nice. Kudos to Massachusetts for informing us, and it gives a whole thing about your ballot and when you should be mailing it in because the mail is slow. I am happy about the decision that was made this week by the courts for the post offices to go back to their normal functioning pre-LaJoy. Is that his name? LaJoy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pre-LaJoy, who brings no joy at all.
Or
So
D-Joy, something like that.
the joy, is that it? The joy,
Yeah.
unjoy. What is
Yeah.
like non-joy? But yeah, so that's it. I'm just happy about the flu shot. Like, I don't even know. I've never been so happy to get the flu shot before, but I'm just like, yes, score. I just feel like they're gonna run out of flu shots come like November, December. I think they're not gonna have any more because all kids, I don't know if every state, but in Massachusetts, these kids can't go into the classrooms come the fall without the flu, not come fall, maybe winter. I don't know. Whenever they're in full time, they have to have.
They actually, that was because some of the summer camps, my son went to one of the summer camps out in Chelsea, and that was actually one of the requirements to either go to summer camp and or for when school restarts, you had to get a flu shot. So luckily my son had his like checkup and he got it then. So
yeah, kids have to have flu shots. I forgot what the age is, 6 and up or 7, 8. I don't really remember, but yeah. So, yeah. So guys, if you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, get it before the winter time because they are in high demand and it is very important. And I know some people had adverse reactions to it, but it too shall pass. The reaction, it's better than being horrifically sick from the flu and having your immune system broken down so far that you end up with COVID. So
yeah, and we don't want that. We don't want that.
It's worth to be a little sick afterwards. How about you?
My week's been all right. My week's been all right, you know. Hung out with my son this week, which always good. We had a good time. He started school, but it's online learning, which I'm very happy about that. Had to go get his like Chromecast, not Chromecast, but the
Chromebook.
Chromebook. There you go. I knew it was Chrome something. Had to get that. Just told him like, yo, if you need any help, please don't hesitate to call me. Let me know. I'm here. Your mom's here. We can help you out. He was like, all right, okay, I got this. Okay, all right. So he took his first test. Got 100%. I'm proud. So just it's been good. Just I know he wants to be back with his friends. They do have like Zoom classrooms. So I'm like, is any of your friends from last year in your video class? He was like, yeah, one of my friends is there. I'm like, all right, cool, that's good. So I don't know how they like socialize or like meet new students because of all of this, but I guess they got some where they just 5 minutes and they just sit there and talk with the other students or
they give them like well, I know my youngest, they have like community building actually at the school on Thursdays, but I think they do a community thing on Zoom. One of the days they have a time slot for community building with the kids too. So I guess that's how they kind of interact and get that social time to like be goofy and act, because they need that. Like, this is really tough for them.
Yeah. I could only imagine. But so yeah, overall my week's been good. Very excited for the show. I'm always happy when we can film and do the show. But now that we have a guest, I'm good. I'm great. I'm ready to get the show started.
Okay. Hi, usual suspects. Hey guys.
Yo, she's so somebody said, DA said, and this is from one of the usual suspects. Again, shout out to all the usual suspects every week, faithfully. That's why y'all called the usual suspects, because y'all always here. Y'all always around. But DA says, I see Frosty Knowledge still has that R. Kelly bust in the background.
He keeps saying that looks like R. Kelly. I'm not taking it down, DA. I don't care what you say. You can't make me do it. So
Yo, just had to highlight that. That was
that is not R. Kelly. That is from Plaster Fun Time.
See, I think you got to explain that the way I have to explain the closet thing. So, yeah. Do you have to do this every show?
Every show.
Every show.
I didn't pay for that.
And are we explaining it to the same person every time?
Yes, exactly.
Hey, what are we doing?
He keeps
It's not R. Kelly.
I thought last year was like last couple of weeks ago was LeBron. He said it was. I'm like, yo, it literally came from Plaster Fun Time. Like, should I be offended that Plaster Fun Time made it look?
Well, I mean, you painted it, so I mean, it.
It's gold. Like, it's cool. And good for Plaster Fun Time for having like an African American person there for us to paint. Like, come on, give credit.
Right.
That's what's up. Hey,
you don't see it.
I never even been to Plaster Fun Time, so I don't know anything about it. But I'm going off by what you say. So,
DA's a mess. That's all good.
All right, we're gonna move this show right along. Like we do always every week. We got Black Facts. Like I say every week. Even though Black History is February, for us it's 365, and we would like to share a little bit of our history with you guys, regardless if you're Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, whatever. You can always learn from us, and we can learn from you. So here's a little bit of the Black Facts for September 18th. Hold on one second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. Where'd it go? Oh, snap, son.
Oh boy.
Oh, snap, son. That's what happened.
Oh, wait, what?
I had to, my computer, I had to restart my computer and I lost my notes.
Oh, I thought
this is what happens when things go live. But don't worry.
I thought that was a Black History fact. I'm like, oh, snap, son. I thought that was like a famous thing. I'm just like, what?
I was getting excited too. I mean, it sounded like something really big was coming up, and I was like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh man, no. Anyway, I do have a backup. So the first one is a musician, a prodigy, a one of a kind, the great Jimi Hendrix. Unfortunately, he passed away on today, September 18th, 1970. Jimi Hendrix was a phenomenal guitarist, one of the greatest. He could play on his teeth, he could play behind his back, he could play with his armpits,
behind there, chewing gum with his tongue. You ever seen him play with his tongue?
I see him play with his teeth, but not his tongue. That's just some next level. Like with Frosty Run. You ever played the guitar? You played the guitar?
I have not. I wouldn't even think about trying to attempt it. I mean, I think when you're a kid, you have those little ones, and that's about it. But it's such a incredible talent to do that, and just to be an amateur, it's a talent to do it. To do what Jimi Hendrix did is beyond. I mean, he was really like the gold standard for guitar players. So, and especially back then, nobody. I don't think they care if he was Black. He was. I mean, they just heard the sound that this guy made. One of the greatest things I've ever heard is his national anthem rendition that he does with the guitar. It's incredible. I mean, it's one of the things that I've downloaded in one of my my playlists there. So I mean, it's incredible.
It's crazy, and I say that to say because I have an acoustic guitar and a bass guitar. Now, it's crazy the fact that he played with his tongue, because he must have had a hard steel tongue, because on a bass you have metal or not metal or steel strings. And on a, and those take a little bit to move. So if you're moving that with your tongue, like, I'm surprised, I didn't know that.
Mr. McNugget, it might actually be the acid too, because back then that was pretty prevalent. And when you're on that kind of stuff,
Right.
you
No,
don't
it's
feel
true.
anything, I guess.
Right.
No, you're right. Half the time he probably didn't feel
Yeah.
anything. He
Right.
played like he was double jointed, and he really wasn't.
You're right.
No,
Yeah.
he was a beast. He was 27 when he passed. So big shout out to
Unbelievable. Yeah. So much talent wasted. And there's, I think there's a whole list of musicians in particular that are 27 years old, and they all die. I think Kurt Cobain was 27. Yep.
Amy Winehouse. Well,
Bobby McGee, who sang Bobby McGee. I can't believe I'm forgetting her name, but there was like a bunch of them that were 27 years old, and they're all musicians too. And it's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's tragic because a lot of them are great musicians.
Janis Joplin, sorry.
Janis, she was a beast. She was a beast.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s or 60s.
Yeah, it was 60s. 60s. That's her and Jimi Hendrix. They were all,
yep,
around the same era there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna move right along. The next one. Hold on one second. Fritz Pollard became the first Black African American to play professional football for a major team, and this is how far back it goes. The Akron Indians. Wow, this is 1919. This is back. He was also the first Black player to play in the Rose Bowl. And I think that's the college equivalent of the Super Bowl. So big shout out to him. I brought that up because football season's back. My boys won last week. Go Steelers all day. Right. Let's get it. The Patriots won too.
That's what I thought you were talking. I'm actually a diehard Dolphins fan, and my God, that was just awful to watch. It was just not fun.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I didn't put that the Celtics shirt. It was the Celtics shirt.
Yeah,
throw me off.
Yeah.
Not to get into my whole history, but I was born up north, so I was in New Jersey. So
okay.
I was raised a New York Mets fan in baseball, but my dad hated the Knicks. So he grew up a big Celtics fan and raised me a Celtics fan. Then we moved down to Fort Lauderdale when I was a kid. That's Dolphins and Miami Hurricanes. That's my thing. But it's funny. One of the things I thought of that you were just saying, you said the year 1919. Isn't that hard to believe? That's over 100 years ago.
Yes.
The year 1990 or 1919, you just think it's like 70 years, and you do the math, and you're like, that's over 100 years ago.
100 years ago. Wow. Crazy. That's. Now that you put it in that that
I never
context,
thought about it.
Yeah, it's just a date, not like but now that you've given it that type, 100 years ago.
It is weird. It's kind of that thing like if something's $1,000, you're like, oh, that's pretty expensive. But if you see it at $9.99, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. $999,
not bad.
Yeah,
I can afford that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're born in the 1900s, like 1970, 1980, but imagine kids born in like 2000s, like 1919 sounds really ancient.
That's 300 years ago to them. So,
yeah.
Is that even a real date? Like,
exactly. That doesn't even exist. What are you talking about?
Right? Fake news.
Fake news. Fake news, boy.
All right, so moving right along. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have time to get more of a backstory on this, but cosmonaut Arnold Tamayo, a Cuban, becomes the first Black sent on a mission to space. He went to outer space.
Wow.
And I brought that up only because sometimes at night, me and my lady will go outside, no joke, and we'll look at the stars. You know, we'll point out, we'll try to like figure out the constellations,
The
look at
Little
different
Dipper.
stars. Like we're stargazers, no joke. I mean, I do it more than she does, but I like, I wonder what's out there, because everybody's talking about like NASA and, NASA's released some documents and videos of aliens. And there was that video yesterday that everybody thought was an alien, but was a Goodyear blimp, crazy stuff going on. But to really understand, like, what does space really look like?
Oh my God, watch the movie on Netflix. Have you seen it?
What movie on Netflix?
Oh my gosh, is Michelle on here? What is that called? Awake?
Awake?
Oh gosh, I can't. It's what Hilary Swank. She plays an astronaut, and it has a crew of like people with different backgrounds, like an Asian woman. There's a Russian on the ship, and they're doing the first spacewalk. They're going to Mars, like the first to land on Mars, and it's a good thing. It's a whole series. It's so
Elon
good.
Musk must have produced this.
Like I kept seeing it, I'm like, how's a space movie going to be good? But Hilary Swank is so good in it. The other actors are so good because it gives background on their lives as well. Because this mission is like 3 years. It's a 3-year mission. So even before going, trying to get to Mars, all the problems that they're having on that spacecraft that they have to deal with personally back home, and like, stuff happening that they have to deal with in space before they cross over to it's really good.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check that out.
If you like space and stuff, watch it. It's amazing. It's amazing, especially with the Asian woman on there, what she has to deal with China and how they are with women, because she's brilliant, and China not wanting, the government not wanting people to really know that a China, this woman is going to be walking on Mars. Like they want to hide it. Like it's so good.
Wow, good. That's crazy. That's crazy. Side note, I'm a big movie fan. If you guys don't know, I love movies. I just watched a recent movie analyzation of Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey. Very good, gets into like different conspiracies and things like that. Because a lot of people thought that because he made this movie, he helped fake the moon landing. So a lot of different little connections on how I end up picking different things, but just a little, if you get a check, if you're a movie buff, and you like analyzing movies and looking at little details and stuff like that, check it out. I'll probably leave a link in the description after the show. Some good stuff. But moving right along, we do want to celebrate. You want to get out your seat. You want to say happy birthday to this wonderful actress. She has played in many countless movies. Miss Jada Pinkett. Today
all right, happy birthday to you.
September 18th, 1971. So happy birthday, Miss Jada
Same year as me.
Yeah, she looks great. Yay!
That's what's up. So happy belated or early birthday to Frosty Run as well.
Exactly.
Everybody give a shout out to Mr. Frosty Run, because his birthday is somewhere either past or coming soon. That's how you cover both sides.
Right on.
But no, big shout out to Jada Pinkett Smith. Happy birthday.
Stop, read the comments. There's breaking news on there.
Oh no.
We got breaking news.
Did it just say Ruth Gator Ginsburg died?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is horrific news.
No. Oh man.
Trump is celebrating.
Wow, that is horrific news.
Hold on. This is breaking news. We have to do our research. This is live.
Wow.
Yes, I am on CNN.com. I'll leave links in the description below. Breaking news. Ruth Gator Ginsburg dies at 87.
Pancreatic cancer complications.
Oh.
Man,
That's awful, awful news.
Ms. Ginsburg was appointed in 1993 by President Bill Clinton, and in the recent years served as the most senior member of the court's liberal wing, consistently delivering progressive votes on the most decisive social issues of the day, including abortion rights, which we're dealing with right now. And that's like a sidebar on under every other thing that's going on. Same-sex marriage, voting rights, which are going on right now, immigration, again, a current issue, healthcare, and affirmative action, again, all current issues. In general, it's always sad when a life is lost. I know condolences to her family and friends. It's always sad. But I hope this is more reason for people to get out and vote.
That's what I just wrote. You gotta vote.
I'm not sure where his powers lie, if he can appoint a judge at this state. I know McConnell did block Obama's pick when Obama had picked
Right, I forgot his name.
Merrick Garland, and
Eric Garland.
It was. They said the reason why is because it was an election year, so they set the precedent. So
Right.
I'm hoping, but again, this is an administration that doesn't care about precedent.
They
They don't care about what's happening.
They're gonna try to rush this. Oh my God.
You have somebody like Bill Barr as the Attorney General. I mean,
Exactly.
Don't mention his name.
I know. You should. It's it's first of all, it's just horrible news because she is, just an American icon, and what
Definitely.
she has been able to do for this country and in this country is remarkable, especially as old as she was, because obviously back when she was growing up, women were not looked at as judges, and
Right.
forget about a Supreme Court judge. So
Right.
for her life was incredibly remarkable. But now we are dealing with another Supreme Court judge that is coming off, that leans towards the Democratic side. And if they replace it with somebody that Donald Trump wants, and I don't know if you saw his list recently, it's almost as if they knew she was going to die. It's very bizarre because he came up with his list here.
Right.
I did hear about that. I did hear, that was what, last week they came out with that.
Yeah. Ted Cruz was on there, Tom Cotton. These are people we definitely do not need to be on the Supreme Court. And if these guys get on there, you are going to see the Supreme Court shaped for probably the rest of our lifetimes.
Right.
The way it is
Right.
now, and it's just not going to be good. So hopefully there's no way they can get that in there, and then of course we have to take care of business in November.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Have to.
It's again losing life, and somebody as impactful as Ms. Ginsburg. It's sad, and it's it's definitely unfortunate, but I don't want to. It sucks because of where we're at right now as a society, where we're at politically, and everything that's going on literally right now. There's so much animosity, there's so much division, hate, and just nasty, evil people. And unfortunately, it's more of the evil people that run the country, and not just regular people. Just everyday, it's not that. Because if it was just that, we would be able to, get through that. But the fact that we have people in power that are like that, it makes it harder. And this is crazy.
I agree with what you're saying. I've had conversations even just recently, and people, they they accuse me of being a far left, leftist, crazy liberal because I can't stand Donald Trump, and I've tried to explain to them on more than one occasion, this really doesn't have anything to do at this point with Democrats or Republicans. This is just like you said, Frosty McNuggetts, that they're evil. They're evil people. And Donald Trump, I mean, just the other day was telling people that if you take the blue states out, you'd be doing way better on the coronavirus, which first of all is ridiculous.
I forgot about that too.
It's a ridiculous comment just because, first of all, again, if he obviously doesn't understand the concept of being the president of the United States. It is for all people, for all states, not just the red states. But he also doesn't point out that two of the top 5 states, Texas and Florida, were red states and have some of the biggest death counts.
Right.
So again, he does this because it works on a certain group of people. It's just say anything, just like the airplane full of guys that he saw with dark,
Right.
and he just used this thing with zero. And he goes, they're on a plane from Washington to wherever. Doesn't even say where they're going.
They're going to join the caravan.
They're
going to
on
get off and
Sunday
get on the
flight.
caravan.
It is exactly the same concept. It's actually even worse than the caravan because at least they had video of people walking. Now, of course, they were not,
Right.
they weren't a threat, but you can at least make up something ridiculous when you have a video. When you are just making up that there's guys on a plane with these, I love that they booked a flight. They got on this flight with all their gear and weapons without anybody.
It's awful.
Anyway, it's a bad scene, and
we definitely, like you said, we have to do our part. We have to go to the ballots. That's the only way we can make this. And Miss Knowledge had brought this up last week. Everybody in the swing states, please, that's Michigan, Florida, Wisconsin. What was there? Are those was it 3 or 4?
Say that again. The 3 or 4
swing states.
Oh, there's so you have Florida, you have Wisconsin, you have Minnesota, you have Pennsylvania, which is always a big one, Arizona, North Carolina, and for the first time in a long, I think I'm missing a state too, but the first time in a long time, you have Texas that is actually possible. Now, if he could pull off Texas and even a Georgia, I don't know if you guys saw Virginia today, but that was very, very encouraging because Virginia today opened up their polls for early voting. And
yes.
Historically in Virginia, on the first day of early voting, they might have 7 or 8 people there, and it's real easy in, easy out. Well, they showed a line. I mean, it was a line of people that were probably still waiting in this line right now. And they said, we are coming out on day 1, and they don't need any debates. They don't need anything. They are voting right now.
Ready.
And that
was an encouraging sign.
DA says Ohio and Michigan.
Ohio and Michigan. That is correct. Yes. Thank you.
Those are the other 2. Our usual suspects, they're on point. That's
DA redeemed himself after the R. Kelly.
I know.
Right?
He can never redeem himself.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll leave that up to you guys. You guys be the ref on that. But I like the bounce back.
Yeah.
Right. So we're kind of going to switch gears. We're going to stay on that. We're going to kind of get back to this topic a little bit. We are going to move right along to Miss Knowledge. Well, actually, that's right. We normally would have the weekly sum up from Frosty Oreos, but unfortunately, he's not here this week. I would do it, but we do have a guest. I do want to get Frosty run, talk with him about what he got going on and things like that. But before we get there, I'm gonna pass the mic off to Miss Knowledge.
Always a good
Floor is yours.
idea, by the way.
Hmm?
Always a good idea to pass it off to Frosty Knowledge, always.
Right.
Well, now it's time for Who Said It?
Mm.
Got
All right,
some-
let's do it.
You guys put your thinking caps on. It's not gonna be too hard.
I like this game too, by the way. I've played it at home and I've gotten a few right, so I'm ready to go.
You ready?
Oh, real quick,
Okay,
before we start, we do have some prizes to give away. We do. These are another host of another show on channel 323. The host, JQ, host of the Lukey podcast. And we have these wonderful, nicely made shirts. So whoever, we have 1, 2, I think I have a couple more in the room. These sizes right here, this is an extra large, and this one is a extra large as well. This is the Lukey branding. It stands for Love Unifies, Qualifies, Intellect. He's a local artist. He's the host of the Lukey podcast, very musical. He's a beast. We got some new music videos coming out for the people. But you can win these. So everybody, usual suspects, if y'all get the answers right and we see them, after the show, we'll get your information and we will mail one of these awesome Lukey shirts to you. We do have more merch coming, actual What's Up People News branded merch. But for now, we have those. So take it away.
Also, this septum ring comes right out. It's not real. So if anyone wanted, it is not a piercing. Well, this one is. That is not.
It's real. She's playing with y'all. Don't listen.
No, it's not.
We got a lot of explaining to do on this show, it seems like.
Just want to make sure people know this comes out. And it's not snot because it kind of looks like snot. All right, let's go. First quote, and I am paraphrasing, so don't anyone show up saying that wasn't the exact quote because I am paraphrasing. The president has been very forthright to the American people.
We starting out with lies. Damn.
He said it this week, actually.
Repeat it one more time. Repeat that BS one more time.
The president has been very forthright to the American people. This is talking about the whole tape that came out, audio that came out with, Trump individual one talking about COVID is deadly on, to Woodward, but then, saying something.
He downplayed it.
Downplay. No, he upplayed it to downplay it.
Yeah.
He upplayed it.
It's 8 o'clock.
No, not Pence. That is a good guess. That's a very good guess. So yeah, it is a member of his administration. I'll say that.
Hannity, I was thinking that. He's an official part of the administration. I mean,
I was going to say, you might be right. Hannity is part of the administration.
Okay, so if I give you this next hint, you guys are going to know, but I will give it to you. He is a family member.
Mm-hmm.
Kushner?
Yeah. Yeah.
That dude's a clown.
Yeah.
I think we also would have accepted Callie McInerney because she says that every time they talk about. So
we would have accepted that too, right?
It really could have been anyone. It could have been Mr.
Exactly. I think if you guessed anybody, I think you were right. So get a bunch. We need more T-shirts.
They all get T-shirts.
I'll get a T-shirt for that. That's anyone would have been right.
Okay, here's a good one. This one was like, wow, this made me just go. Okay, so
Callie McInerney.
Right?
I'm guessing already.
All right. So here's the quote. If he can profit from your death, he will facilitate it and ignore the fact you're dead.
That's deep.
Very deep.
That's
If
make you want to talk to somebody after that one.
Right.
Like,
he meaning Trump.
yeah.
If he can profit from your death, he will facilitate it and ignore the fact that you're dead.
This sounds to me like it could possibly be a family member. One that doesn't like him.
Dang, that's a I hate my family quote. That's I hate the people. Like, yo, what?
Should I say it again? I don't know what they're saying. What? If he can profit from your death, he meaning Trump, he will facilitate it and ignore the fact you're dead. Not Kanye. Who? Kanye?
I mean,
Kanye
the way
would
he's been acting lately.
Kanye didn't say that. Oh, good job. No, well, wasn't. Oh, his sister is close.
He has two sisters. It's you have Mary Trump and then the one that was reported.
No, Michelle.
I think Mary's his niece.
Oh, Mary's his niece.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what's the answer? Michelle, you're close. It's not his sister, but you're in the right ballpark.
I don't know.
Wow, was I right about it being a family member?
Mary got it. It's Mary Trump.
Oh, it is Mary Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Boom.
Yeah, Mary Trump. Good job. That's crazy. I know, and it would be someone close because they would know him to do that, and that sounds like him too. Okay.
I love how everybody gets mad when we point out that people say these things about Donald Trump, and they get mad at us, but it turns out that a lot of the people that say bad things about him turn out to be part of either his administration or his own family. So, I mean, what else are we supposed to do here?
The people who know him the best.
It's unreal. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
No, do your thing. I like it. Let's keep it going. How many more we got?
Let's go faster then. Okay.
No, keep it going. Keep it going.
Because I normally have, how many do I have? 9, 7 more. The U.S. needs to hunker down for fall and the winter. It's not going to be easy. Meaning, referring to COVID.
What's that dude's name that looked like a old school sailor? They got the CDC guy.
I can't. We need a name. The U.S. needs to hunker down for fall and the winter. It's not going to be easy.
Yo, I know the usual suspects know the dude's name.
I think there's a little delay for them. Yes,
Fauci.
got it.
Fauci, it was Fauci that said it?
I was gonna say, it was either him or Fauci. It had to have been.
Yeah, Fauci.
And it sucks because the old dude that looked like the old school sailor, he was like, there may be a vaccine, but it'll only be priority, and we may not see nothing until this time next year.
Yeah.
So
although the idiot that we have running the country is trying to convince people it'll be ready before the election. So
no.
Again, I don't understand it.
But it falls in line with what they were saying before. Like when it first started, they said we wouldn't get a vaccine till next summer.
Right.
They were like, hopefully the beginning of next year. But the way the thing's been going,
instead of taking the word of professional doctors and scientists, we're going to take the word of the guy who had to make the decision as to whether or not he was going to fire Gary Busey or Meatloaf.
Right? And the person who knows the difference between the elephant and the alligator.
And the guy who thinks that raking leaves will prevent
oh my gosh.
No, y'all didn't know. Trees explode.
Oh, okay.
Well, get it right now. Get it right.
Oh yeah,
Trees explode. When they fall and the sun's out, They explode. Scientific.
Oh.
When trees fall, you don't hear nothing because it didn't explode yet.
He's the president, everybody. The president of the United States.
Yes. Oh, they explode.
Yo, crazy.
Oh.
Number 4, the more chaos, the more violence helps with the re-election.
I know that one. I'll wait to see if somebody else can get it, but I know it.
The more chaos, the more violence helps with the re-election.
I mean, I've heard
Says
people
that, by
say,
the way.
Go ahead.
I say, who freely admits that, by
Right,
the way,
just
in
out
an
of their mouth.
administration?
Yeah.
But apparently it's the new America that we live in that some
can
people
say
find that
anything.
exciting. So I don't.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I've heard that. Well, not that particular quote. I've heard that in context, but I don't know who said that.
It's a woman. She works for, well, she used to work for his administration. She has stepped down.
Nikki Haley?
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was recent. So nope, not Biden. It sounds like Biden would have said that.
It's the press secretary lady, the old one.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yes.
Is that who you're thinking? No.
Yeah, it wasn't her.
No, it's a woman that looks like Skeletor.
And she
Kellyanne. We got Kellyanne.
I'm about to say, and she's also in the most bizarre marriage I've ever seen in my life.
Right, exactly.
I just do not understand that whole dynamic.
Kellyanne.
But
yep, Kellyanne, they got it.
Yep.
Michelle, John, they got it. All right. This one's going to be a little harder. So
points are doubled.
Right.
right. So we're switching out of politics a little bit. I feel like at this point, there are certain things that I do that I hope can make him proud. It's like keeping his legacy alive. It's amazing. One person can inspire so many. This person said this after a big win. She's an athlete. And she's speaking on another athlete.
The tennis player.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Kiyosha?
Naomi Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's. I couldn't finish the words.
Who's she talking about? Who's she talking about?
I think I know.
She wears his jersey. She's met him. There are tons of pictures. He was definitely a fan.
Kobe?
Yes. And they got it right too. Naomi Osaka. Yep. Mary and John got that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kobe. This one is easy.
A quote game.
Biden is controlled by people in dark shadows.
Oh, God. I like the non-political ones better now. Oh.
People be saying some wild shit.
Who said that? Biden is controlled by
Frosty Knowledge just took us down a road thinking we're all right, we're going to smooth this thing out, and just did a complete U-turn right back into destruction.
We all just hit our face on the mirror, just slam head first right into the
suckers.
Right? And there's a big delay here too. Oh yeah, Trump said it.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone is gonna know this one. The coronavirus lockdown is the greatest intrusion on civil liberties since slavery.
Oh my God.
Like, doesn't it sound crazy when you read it out loud?
You know, it's sad, but the fact that, you know, we're laughing, I mean, it's comical at this point because it's just so outrageously crazy to say anything like that you just gotta go, where are we? This is hilarious. What else can you do?
Yeah,
This is where we're
it's
at.
Bar.
Like
Yeah,
we,
Bar
they,
said it. They got it.
yeah, but yeah, they went from keeping the quiet parts quiet in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
So you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just say it. Yeah.
This, hey, I commend them. This this little aspect is entirely the 4 or 5's doing. Like the moment I forgot what it was. It was I can't remember if it was during the Russian investigation, during the scan. It was during one of those major times where he he was called out, and it was like a flip switch, and it was just like, you know what, fuck it,
Yep.
I'm gonna just. He started saying all the quiet parts loud, and then just like a bushfire, like now everybody's just like,
They
hey,
all
you know
do.
what, we're just gonna just be outright just evil, fuck civility,
Right.
we're gonna cheat, lie, we're gonna lie to people. He downplayed. He knew the severity of this virus. He knew it, but yet,
But
like,
none of this is a surprise though. Like we're literally talking like we didn't know that Trump knew, because we always knew that Trump knew. There was a whole memo that he got. He knew. So whenever he came out and was like, just one person, we knew that he knew. Like this is not. None of it is a surprise, but it just keeps hitting you in the face every time like it comes out. We just get smacked around like,
yeah, because you're like, no one can be this just outrageous.
right.
Well, here's my take on that is that, Donald Trump is, first of all, it takes a special person to be able to go out and say those kinds of things. Donald Trump's a complete idiot. He's a moron and he's a brainless idiot. The scary part is it's not Donald Trump that's the scary part. The scary part are the people who believe, and either believe it because they truly believe it, or it's because they want to believe it so they can sort of circumvent their hate or their radicalism or whatever it is.
Right.
So the fact that we have a country that has so many people that buys into it, to me, is way scarier than the brainless moron that is doing it. All he's doing is taking advantage. And he cares about nothing but him. I've said this before. He cares about nothing but himself. That's it. And not even he cares. If it came down to his kids dying or losing his money, those kids are dead.
Oh,
they're gone.
They're dead.
They're gone.
They are gone. He cares about himself, money, and power. I'm not saying he doesn't care about his kids at all, but what I'm saying is when you put it on the spectrum of what he cares about, it's him here, and then everything else is below here. So, but I think the point I'm trying to make is the scariest part is the people who follow this and the people who believe it is not just upsetting, but it's really concerning. And I think, unfortunately, this kind of rhetoric is going to be somewhat mainstream coming up unless we do everything to squash it and to squash it in a manner to where we say we do not invite this ridiculousness anymore.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to just add to that, and it's so as we all know, Trump's not a career politician. He just threw literally.
He's not even a career businessman, by the way.
Huh?
He's not even a career businessman, by the way, but that's what he's tagged as.
No, he's not. He's just an idiot rich person. But but he's not a career politician. He just literally threw his hat in the ring and got lucky and won.
Yeah.
The other aspect of it, though, are the people around him, and not necessarily like the people that he handpicked, but like just those like the people in the Senate, like the people who really know politics, who know like certain things you shouldn't do, certain things you shouldn't say, you know, like, for instance, Stephen Miller, the one who orchestrated the whole issue with immigration, like people like that who understand politics, who wanted to have this as their career, are just as evil as he is, because he wouldn't have gotten this far, you know, without those type people, Roger Stone, you know, like
Steve
those,
Bannon.
yeah, Steve Bannon, those people who know politics but are just evil as fuck.
Yep.
And he doesn't understand politics. So those are the people who are giving him these ideas, and he's just the dumbass buffoon who's like, yo, you know what? You're right. Going back to that spectrum. Oh, that's going to keep me in power. They know how to coerce this dude. They're going to give him everything like, yo, if you do this, it's going to make you look strong. And they're not even saying it in a sense of, you know, the American people will look at you differently. No, they're just saying, yo, you'll be powerful if you come out like this, you know, and that's something, you know, their political agenda behind the scenes. Like when he talks about a deep state, look at your cabinet, look at the people around you. That's the deep state.
Yeah.
The people who are telling you to bomb, you know, the general in the Middle East. Are you serious?
But he knows that. It's all a projection game. Like whatever he says, it's the opposite. That's just the projection of it. But let me finish these two things so we can move on.
Yep.
Trump has done more for Black people than we realize. I'm going to give you a hint. It is not Terry Crews and it is not Kanye West.
Who is that?
Exactly.
We go through this. Who is Terry Crews? God. I'm really going to have to look this person up because this is like the 80th time. I'm sorry.
I gotta say, I just hope it's at least somebody Black and not a white guy saying it, because that would be even worse.
It is a Black person, and it's just when I heard him say this, I'm like, why would you do that? And again, who are you? And you're trying to get relevance. So
we got Ben Carson.
I know that you're not going to get this because the Black people here are not going to get it either. so don't feel bad. People are probably going to say, who is, I may be the only one who knows who this is. So Damon Dash is a good guess. Ben Carson too. This is an old R&B singer, and he's saying, put your woman first. Do you remember that song, McNugget? You gotta put your woman first. I can't sing, but
is that Case?
Close in that whole Jaheim.
Jaheim.
Okay, so he's a
Jaheim said that?
He's a popular R&B singer. Like this is just like.
Wait, repeat his quote again, because I have to put that. Wait, what did he say?
He may not be so popular anymore after that quote.
He wasn't even popular. He's not popular now. I should say he was popular. I think he's trying to find relevance.
He was a mid '90s, early 2000s.
John B is white.
R&B artist. He was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's a couple songs. I fucks with Jaheim, but after this, repeat his quote again.
Trump has done more for Black people than we realize. It sounds like a Candace Owens. One more. Don't even bust your head on it. Let's get past that because it'll make you crazy. You know. Last quote. Gonna wrap it up. Yeah, New Soul Jaheim. Yep. Our very existence is wrapped up in the things you need to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
I like that one.
Our very existence is wrapped up in the things you need to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Rest in peace. That's your hint.
I don't know who said that, but I do like it.
I'm waiting for them to catch up because they're still writing Jaheim. So it's like a real delay.
Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama.
Oh, close. Rest in peace. So he has recently
John Lewis.
it sounds like a John Lewis quote.
Mm.
He wasn't in politics.
Wasn't in politics.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot I can't think of his name right now.
Chadwick.
Chadwick Boseman.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those are the quotes.
I do
Good
like Nina
job.
Simone though. She was a beast. Nina Simone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Chadwick.
Chadwick.
Yeah.
Chadwick. R.I.P.
It did sound like a Michelle Obama quote.
Mm. Yeah.
It really did.
Good quotes, man. I love this game. This game is awesome. I need to step up my quote game though, but
What'd you say you had to do?
I gotta step up my quote game.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I'll be sitting here at work because, working from home at the kitchen table, and like I'll hear something and I'm like, oh my God. And like I have these stickies that I just start writing. It's crazy.
Nice.
But I can try to catch them. So
nice. I dig it. I'm with it.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
That was good.
So what we got for the day?
All right, so moving along, I've been wanting to talk about who was Breonna Taylor for a little bit, and now is a good time because her family just won that settlement against, what is that city that she lived in? Louisville, Kentucky? Is that the city?
Yes.
Yeah, so they just won $12 million in the civil lawsuit, wrongful death lawsuit, and I'm thinking that's the biggest settlement. Of all the wrongful deaths involving cops, I think that her settlement is the biggest. And I just wanted to talk about her life a little bit and to show basically why that is restitution and that is a step in the right direction, but it is not justice. So I don't want us to get confused with, well, the family got $12 million. Like, I want to show you why that $12 million is not justice for Breonna Taylor. So Breonna Taylor, if you guys don't know, she was an EMT, an essential worker, actually, because I believe she was murdered in March, right when the pandemic was kicking off. So she was starting to really put in some hours. So the night before her death, she had worked 4 shifts in a row.
Wow.
Yeah. To relax, she was going to have date night when she got off of work with her boyfriend. So this was a new boyfriend that she had. She had some issues with her ex-boyfriend. She got out of a bad relationship and got into a new relationship, and she was happy, and she was an EMT, and she was doing her thing. That is who Breonna Taylor was. They had dinner at a steakhouse. They decided to watch a movie in bed. Let's cuddle up. Let's not go out. I did 4 shifts. Let's relax in bed. Typically they go to typically they go to his apartment, but she did not have her toothbrush and her flat iron because a girl's got to have a flat iron, right?
She's like, I can't leave without it.
I can't leave. I have
like
to.
a visa.
Got to go home, right? So they decided to go back to her apartment to watch a movie that she shared with her sister. Her sister was out of town. Breonna thought that this was her year. This was like her year of big plans. She had her new boyfriend. She had this new job. She was an EMT. She was making money. She just bought a new car. So she had sticky notes all over the apartment. And it's interesting because my fridge has sticky notes all over it of her big ideas of what she wanted to do. She wanted to buy a house. She had sticky notes with baby names because she wanted to get pregnant and have a baby with the new boyfriend. So she had big
You
plans.
got big plans. That's what's
Big,
up.
big plans. So 12 million, her life, her future plans. So she wrote her goals on the sticky notes. She fell asleep during the movie. So we're watching the movie. She fell asleep, as I always do. The last thing that she said to her boyfriend was, turn off the TV.
I hear that all the time.
Right.
I fall asleep with the TV on countless nights. I'm used to that because I used to do it growing up. I'd be the only one up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning watching Cartoon Network, watching the Sci-Fi Channel. My dad just, turn that TV off, boy. And I had to get up and think.
Right. So she told her boyfriend to turn the TV off. Little did they know there was surveillance going on outside of her apartment. I don't know if you guys know why her apartment was being surveilled. So, right. So
you can give a little backstory.
Right. So the backstory is she was in a relationship with a not so good guy who was drug racketeering, things of that nature. So she came under the watchful eye of the cops because he was calling her from jail, right? Like, I guess sometimes to bail him out, like just over time, they knew that she was a contact person
for this dude. Whoever he's talking to, she's there.
Right. So when they got him for, the big thing that he's in jail with now, they believe that she may have be holding money for him. She was never a suspect. So that was the issue with the warrant too. So the warrant it had been no knock, but then they changed it. It's supposed to be a knock because she was not a suspect, right? She wasn't being arrested for anything. So they were supposed to literally probably knock on and say, we have a warrant to come in and search your apartment.
And if I can too, I think there's a part of it too. The reason why they linked Breonna to this gentleman was Breonna Taylor, at the time when they were dating, she rented a car in her name. Right. And the guy was driving the car and was doing some of the, the drug stuff, with that car. And of course, Breonna Taylor had absolutely nothing to do with it. But,
right, exactly.
But I think that's where they linked. And of course, the cops didn't bother to look in to see whether or not they were still together. I think they just assumed that they were still, dating and surveilled that particular home.
Right, but the issue was, I think the cop, he was not supposed to make that a no knock. I think that cop is in trouble now because he changed it, or he falsified it, or he did something on there to make it a no knock warrant.
He falsified it. He lied to their judge where they had to get the warrant from.
Right.
And even though they already had the person in custody, they already had the main suspect, but he lied to the judge. Said she had drugs on the premises, which he said was which he got the information from a postal investigator who said that he received, or they got some mysterious packages with her address on it. And that he informed the police officer, which then he told the judge, hey, the post office investigator people are telling me that this person, Breonna Taylor, is getting mysterious packages. And I think that's when, going back to the drugs, when you were saying that they thought that she was holding something. Right. So he lied about the post office, and he lied to a judge.
Right.
So he's just lying all around.
All right. And we're going
to change the no knock warrant.
Exactly. And we're going to get to even the deeper lies that they told.
There's more lies.
After she died. So let's just get back to that night. so we all know like who this woman was, right? She was important. She was important to her boyfriend, to her mom, like her sister. So outside surveilling, she fell asleep. They used a battering ram um, to bust through the door. Of course, the boyfriend's like, what is happening? He gets his registered legal gun and, fires off one shot.
Into the ground as a warning shot.
I think he wounded one officer, so I don't know if it ricocheted, but he did wound one officer. And then 3 cops began firing wildly. Bullets ripped through everything in the room, they said. It even shattered a soap dish, a chair, table, sliding glass door, like it was crazy. So when the smoke cleared, Breonna Taylor had been struck 5 times, and she bled out on the floor. And then they had the nerve to arrest the boyfriend. So there's a couple of things here. So after this woman died, Breonna Taylor, the cops went back to the boyfriend in jail because now there's backlash because she didn't have any drugs. She didn't have any money. She wasn't a suspect. You weren't supposed to do a no-knock warrant. Now they're like, oh shit, the publicity is bad. How can we fix this? How do cops fix things? We know how cops fix things because look at Rochester, New York, what they did to that Black man that they put the bag over his head.
Daniel Cruz.
Yeah, put on the police report, make him a suspect, and had the nerve to circle it, right? So that's what they do. So that's what they did with Breonna Taylor. They tried to sully her name. They went to the ex-boyfriend in jail and said that they would give him a plea deal if he said that Breonna Taylor worked with him. $12 million is not enough money. No. It is some restitution, but it is not justice. That man, did he get fired? The man that falsified that? Because I know that they're not all fired and nothing is going to happen because that DA, albeit he is a Black man, he is a Trump man, and he is not going to press charges no matter how much we protest. It's not unfortunate. It's just unfortunate he's not going to do it.
Well, the one thing that has to be considered here is that they admitted that there was a mistake by awarding the family with $12 million. So when you admit that there's some mistake here, there's got to be also some, there's got to be some punishment for the people who were involved in this ridiculous, it's just such a sad story because as you guys know, I do a podcast, but I listen to podcasts a lot. And they had a 2-part series on this on the New York Times podcast. You guys should check that out. It is really, really good and very detailed.
Send me that link so I can leave, have our viewers check that out.
It's called The Daily. Is their podcast, the New York Times, and of course they do it. Well, I say daily. I don't think they do it on Saturday, so they might want to change it the daily, except for Saturday. But they detail everything that happened in this whole thing, and it's so sad because there's I guess Breonna kept a diary or whatever, and she was just like, "This is going to be my year." Nobody in my family has really accomplished anything, hasn't graduated, any of this stuff. I'm going to be the first one. I mean, she was determined. She worked multiple jobs.
Yes.
And she's dead because she was laying in bed with somebody that she was no longer associated with. And, again, that's...
Well, she was laying in bed with a new boyfriend.
Correct. Right. That's what I'm saying. She was laying in bed with a new boyfriend and not associated with the person that they were there for.
Right.
And, it's my understanding, it was months that they had been broken up. It wasn't even just like a week. It was months. So, listen, it's 2020, you know, and this kind of stuff we're still talking about, and it's still happening. And you know, listen, I say it's concerning for me. I can't imagine how concerning it is for you guys and your children. And
Right.
you know, it's, again, it's one of these things. And I'm not even, quite frankly, not even blaming Donald Trump for this, because we've been seeing this even before Donald
Oh,
Trump.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, but I do think what's really scary with Donald Trump is that he's almost now, even though it was kind of unsaid, he's kind of almost now allowing the cops to have this attitude. It's us versus you guys now. And not even just black people. It's us and Donald Trump supporters versus anybody who does not agree with Donald Trump.
Right.
And, you know,
Right.
not that I certainly do not fear for my life if I get pulled over, you know, but if I had a Biden sticker on the back of my car, I
Right.
don't think I would get shot and killed. But I do think, you know, I'm getting that ticket. There's no question.
Oh,
But,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. My gosh.
And, you know, I've said this before too. Again, I'm really disturbed too about the false narratives, because if I were to say, or if you guys were to say something about cops, then it's like, oh, the cops protect us and you guys hate cops and everything, you know, why don't they just, I don't hate police officers. I think police officers are some of the bravest people in this country. And we've talked about this before. You know, you always have to go to the good top cops and there's a few bad apples, you know, but there is a point. I even used to say that. I used to say, you know, there are some bad apples. But then when you hear the point where, why aren't the good apples calling out the bad apples? You know, it doesn't necessarily make them bad apples, but it's something that I think needs to maybe happen more. So, you know, we can possibly do something about this ridiculous problem in this country. And for anybody to say that it's not, you know, I don't know. I've said it before. It's offensive, not just, you know, for you guys, but just as a human being, it's offensive to just ignore an issue that has been complained about, if you want to say that, for decades. I mean, decades.
Okay.
And to add to what you were saying, Frosty Run, the other aspect of it, why a lot of good cops aren't speaking out, is because cops aren't explaining that there are literally more bad cops than there are good cops.
Yeah.
And when good cops do try to, you know, call these evil cops on the carpet, you know, there's a chain of command. And majority of the time, the people at the top are just as evil as the foot soldiers, the cops. So there is a system within their system that needs to be broken down. You know, like I'm saying that, you know, the evil cops, the bad apples, if you will, are so rampant that the few good cops,
Right.
you know, if they speak out that cold blue creed or whatever they have amongst themselves, like, yo, you know, they're getting money on the backside, just being evil, corrupt.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna mess that up for me.
Right.
That's what they're saying. And it's, you know, it's just nasty.
You could describe it possibly as a herd mentality. is what, you know, essentially what it is. And, you know, it is, you're exactly right, is that even if you have, you know, you're going to have, we talk about the good cops, but you're going to have areas where a good amount of that police station are not the greatest and not the nicest cops. I mean, you can go in parts of the deep South, and I would say that the majority of cops may be racist in some precincts, not all, but in some. And if you have a few good cops in that particular precinct, you think they're going to step up and say something? Absolutely not. They know better. Now, what they could do is obviously quit that job and go somewhere else. But, you know, again, it's not that easy too. Everybody, you know, always, you know, acts like things are easy. But sometimes when we're dealing with complex, difficult situations, the easiest thing to do is, is not really the path to go. I mean, sometimes you have to take the harder path.
Right.
Yep.
So, in closing the Breonna Taylor story, I just wanted to actually make a small comment about it. Women oftentimes get involved and entangled with not so good guys.
Entanglements.
Yeah, you know, it's like there's a place that women can go. There are organizations that help young women who get entangled in relationships that they find it very hard to get out of, like abusive relationships, physically and mentally. Sometimes women get involved with men, and I can only speak for women, who aren't good, who are into drugs or racketeering or beating them or trying to make them sell their bodies, and they have a hard time breaking themselves away from that. It's almost like being in a gang where you have to be jumped out. It's hard to leave these people. So I just wanted to say there are places for women who get involved with these men, because women end up going to jail for these men. They're holding drugs for them. Breonna Taylor was not at this particular time, but we really don't know. And I'm not saying this to, you know, disregard any of her accomplishments or anything, because she was able to get away from that. Some women don't get away from that. There's been instances of women who have been stopped on airplanes, who have been, putting drugs inside of their bodies for men and going to jail for years and years. So there are places here in Massachusetts. In Her Shoes is an organization that helps women get out of situations like this. And even before you get into situations like this organization here will empower you. It helps you to, get the self-esteem that you lack, so you don't tend to gravitate towards, that kind of thing. Because I have daughters, so like that always scares me, and I'm always talking to them about, like, boyfriends. Who are those boys? Who do they hang out with? Who are they with? What does he do? Does he work? Where does his money come from? Like, those things are scary when you have girls, because they really get involved in that stuff. And it is hella hard to get out. I mean, I was in an abusive relationship before. Those things are hard. Like, it's, it took my mom trying to figure out what was going on to be like, yo, that's done. You get all his shit. She was throwing his stuff out the window. Like, I was young and I just didn't know how. I didn't even tell her. I think neighbors saw us in the car fighting, and she was like, oh, hell no. And she just started throwing like teddy bears, the stupid shit you get as a teenager, out the window, like, because she caught it. So if she didn't catch it, I didn't know how to get out of it. Like, it's easier said than done for people to say, why do you stay? You just don't know how. Like, how do you step out of it? It's complicated. So there are organizations nowadays. I don't know what there was back then, but now there's so many organizations that will help men, women, young adults in these situations. So I wanted to do that. And then I wanted to move on to the next, because I know we've been here a long time.
Frosty, can I say something real quick,
Yeah,
based on what you just said, by the way?
Yeah.
To me, it kind of sounds a little bit like the good cops who are the minority, and it's hard for them to say something.
Right.
And it sounds to me like that's a similar situation. It almost seems like there should be a national hotline,
Right.
for the good cops to be able to call where they're not being called out.
Right.
And we can, sort of possibly do something to make things better there.
Right, because because what's going to end up happening to these cops, they're all getting clumped, and that's why, unfortunately, these cops were ambushed. That is going
That's so sad.
It's
That's
going
so
to
sad.
happen more and more. Not condoning it, and it's awful. And Black Lives Matter, I think, should have said something about this. I don't know if they've made a comment. I have to check, so maybe I'll retract that, because I don't know for sure if They have. I haven't heard it, but they should if they haven't, because that's not what it's about. No one is
No.
condoning that nonsense. But it's unfortunate because when you have cops that are shooting Black women, men, and children just at will, and then have the nerve to try to cover it up and make them look like suspects, you're going to get a pushback. And the pushback is going to come with, nah, this is war. We're going to get you before you get us. It is going to happen. You can't expect it not to happen. Like, this is going to happen, and it's going to affect good cops. So it's like, you're going to risk your life, cops. You're risking your life either way. If you don't speak out, you're risking your life because that means you're complicit, and if you're complicit, you're kind of going along with it, just like racism. Like, if you see somebody being racist and you're not saying anything, to me, you're racist too. Like, what? So they're complicit in it. And I know it's dangerous for them to actually speak out, but you gotta choose which danger you want. I don't know. You may want to speak out. If these whistleblowers can come online, that woman, that nurse was like, yo, they're doing hysterectomies. Look at my face. Here is my name. They demoted me, but I'm still talking out. Like, you're a cop. Where's your balls? Like, what? You're a cop.
Yeah.
Why are you afraid?
They're a scaredy cop.
You're a cop. You're out there risking your life anyway. That's crazy. Anyway, positive note, 3 NBA teams have offered their spaces so people can vote. How good is that? The teams are, do you guys know?
No.
Is Atlanta one?
Yeah.
Yep. Is it Memphis?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, okay.
And one more. Detroit. So Atlanta, Detroit, and Milwaukee have offered their spaces and their staff.
So we're missing about 23 other teams to
This is a start, though. You're right, but these are key states. So Atlanta is big, and Michigan, Detroit, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Those are states that we need more voting sites. So yeah, that's a good thing. Yep. Let's say the Pistons made November 3rd a payday off for their staff. Like, that should just be a thing. Everyone should be off on that day to vote. But
I stick to the fact that the presidential election should be a national holiday.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
national voting holiday should be July 4th.
Yeah.
Or like, seriously, what is no greater
Keep it November, whatever. But you're absolutely right.
But make it a national holiday. Put it on the weekend.
Right.
But make it like, come on. Why do we have to have? Why is it every other Tuesday?
It's ridiculous.
Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Because voter suppression is real.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Okay, negative note on voting, and Brian, you probably know a lot about this piece because this is at your neck of the woods, in your neck of the woods. The Florida Appeals Court blocks hundreds of thousands of ex-felons in Florida who still owe fines and fees from registering to vote.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Like,
the state of Florida voted, unanimously pretty much to allow anybody that had a or that came out of jail should be able to vote. But again, we just said it. It's voter suppression, and they're doing everything they can.
Ron DeSantis, all of a sudden, because that was new. All of a sudden, Ron DeSantis is like, whoop, hold on, wait. You mean that's that? How many ex-felons? Oh, hell no.
He is a clown. I knew he was a clown coming in, but Florida, I can curse on the show, right?
Yeah,
go right ahead.
Because Florida will fuck things up royally every Florida is a it's a great state in some respects, but man, it's got its issues. And you know, if there's any state that if Donald Trump loses, if Joe Biden wins Florida, you could pretty much wrap it up. It's going to be a done deal.
And we'll know that night, right? Won't we know the night there is?
Let me tell you what's going to happen, and this is going to be horrific. We keep saying there's 6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks till the election. We will not know the results for probably 10 to 12. That's
definitely. I was just thinking about Florida.
Well, I think Florida is going to be probably one of the reasons why we won't know for a while. Because if you look at Florida's history, well, Obama did win there twice. He won there once significantly, and both times really. But you saw what happened in 2016. I mean, Trump barely won Florida. He won by 1 point, and now you have Ron DeSantis as governor, and I think Florida is going to somehow make sure, because I'm sure you guys remember what happened when Bush and Gore, you know, that was the reason why we had such a delay in the elections, because of what happened in Florida.
I still feel Gore should have pushed back.
Yeah, and he probably should. And listen, if it was nowadays and looking to see because Donald Trump's not, you know, he's not leaving quietly, because I think Frosty Knowledge and I talked about this, is that if he gets elected out of office, he is going to be indicted. There is zero question in my mind. And there are attorneys and there are salivating.
Right.
Just waiting.
That he gets elected out of office. And Donald Trump knows this.
Yeah.
You know, somebody even said that there's a possibility that he will quit before the election, have Mike Pence take over, and pardon Donald Trump.
Right.
Because he knows what may be coming.
Right.
You know, so and the fact that we're even saying stuff like this is outrageously ridiculous.
He is
some 3D chess right here.
He is the unindicted co-conspirator and the one.
That's exactly right. They said that if he were not president, he would have been indicted with Michael Cohen. But you know what happens is the people who yell out the fake news, they'll listen to us talking about this and saying, we are absolutely out of our minds and crazy that we're just kind of, but these are the same people saying Hillary Clinton was going to jail, Barack Obama was going to jail, but there's no charges. There will be charges against Donald Trump.
There will be. They're waiting on him.
Waiting.
He will do anything. He is going to cheat, lie, steal, maybe kill. I don't know.
And DeSantis is his boy. DeSantis is his boy. And if there will be any manipulation, it will definitely be in the state of Florida. I have no doubt about that. I hate saying it. And I still hope that we can trust in our elections. But, you know, how do we trust anything nowadays?
Right.
Oh
Gosh. So I just wanted to end it on, there is a fund for those ex-felons who owe all of these fines and things before they can vote. It's called the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. So if there are any ex-felons out here, you know, watching the show or anything, you may want to Google the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition to see what they can do to help you pay your fine so that you can register to vote for this election, because you need to vote and we need you to vote and everyone needs to vote. A lot of people have donated to this. Michael Jordan, our good friend here, has donated $500,000 to this fund to get these penalties paid for these ex-felons.
And he's not normally a political guy, Jordan.
No, he's not. He's not.
But you know what? He is. But he does it quietly. That's what I've been reading about him. He does a lot. Yeah. The NBA, not walkout, but whatever.
Lockout?
Whatever, when they didn't come out after the, when they just didn't come out.
Yeah.
Right. He was instrumental in navigating that and helping them do that. He got.
See, this is why I watch this show, because I learned stuff.
Yeah, Michael Jordan they went to him and asked him about that too. Like, how do we do this? What should we do? How long should we do it? So he is involved and he donates a lot of money to people. He doesn't like the fanfare, you know,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
quiet about it. And LeBron, his organization put money into it as well. So
He is not quiet about it.
he is not quiet
Oh.
about it. They've helped 4,000 ex-inmates.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That
Good.
is what's up. That's all I got.
That's all you got. That's
And that
all
was
you
a
got.
lot. That seemed like a lot.
No, but it was very informative. You took us down visually. I got to see all this. It was good. It was excellent reporting from Frosty Knowledge as per usual. So we're gonna move right along. Couple headlines that we're gonna get into today. But of course, we already talked about it. The breaking news, of course, Miss Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away. It's a very sad day. And my condolences. I know everybody wants to send their condolences to her family. It's like we said before, or at the top of the show, you know, in general, it's always sad to lose someone. But right now, to lose someone of her caliber, in her position where she was at, is definitely tragic. We'll definitely have to get more information about, you know, what Trump's going to do. Hopefully that he can't do nothing. Joe Biden wins this election and he can appoint someone worthy of that. We don't want Ted Cruz. No Ted Cotton. None of these people. No. Ted Cruz couldn't win the presidency. Why does he need to be a freaking...
And that guy, and I think that guy was on the list too, the Kentucky DA. That's another reason why he's not trying to do anything for Breonna with those cops. Like he's on that list.
There's one thing that I can really hope for. I can really, really hope that Joe Biden wins the presidency and puts either Barack or Michelle Obama on the Supreme Court.
Right?
That would be
to me, one of the
amazing.
greatest things I have ever seen. But,
oh my God, that would be so amazing.
You know, the other thing you were saying too, the other thing that comes to mind, and it's very unfortunate about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is the amount of people celebrating her death right now.
Right.
And just doing it in a manner that is very callous and very non-caring. You know, even if who's the beer drinking nut on the Supreme Court? Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah. I mean, even if he died, I mean, I'm not out to celebrate, you know, the death of an American Supreme Court justice. So for anybody to celebrate this, and I know for a fact people are very happy about it, and they're probably on social media with their friend and saying some pretty nasty stuff, and that's sad to think about.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't need that.
There's one person, if that happened to, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to get in trouble on the show or anything, but
Say it.
We all would be like, we would be like sidestepping this.
You may have a point, but whoever it is you're talking about is certainly not in the same class as Ruth, Bader Ginsburg. You know, one's very
well, you
pure
said
evil.
Kavanaugh. I know you said Kavanaugh though, and he's not either. So I was just thought we were just throwing people up there.
I got you. We're on the same page.
Right.
Sorry, McNugget.
Yeah. So again, it's very tragic. And we just all have to wait and see what happens next moving forward. So again, our deepest condolences to her family. She had a very long, rich life, broke barriers at every level, cared for the people, did her job to the fullest. So definitely, again, RIP, condolences to her family, the Ginsburg family. But we're gonna move right along. The next thing, the weather. You know,
Yeah.
We got 5 hurricanes off in the Atlantic right now. We got California on fire. We got the Gulf Coast flooding,
Everything.
and it's just shit everywhere. It's just nasty. It's nasty. But again, California is on fire. Um, it's fire season. It doesn't help that gender reveal parties were just happening all up and down the coast. God damn, people, what is wrong with
Is
y'all?
that what I heard? And they were doing fireworks? Is that the
They
It's
use pyrotechnics.
at a gender reveal?
That is
hey,
correct.
that's how all these majority of the fires got started this year and last year.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's amazing.
An old lady,
Pyrotechnics never go well.
Correct.
Ever.
old lady lost her life like at a gender reveal party last year. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I say unless it's 4th of July or you are the lead singer of AC/DC or something like that,
Right.
then there's really no real Def Leppard. There's no reason for pyrotechnics.
No, none. Dude,
Oh.
I'm glad, you're having a baby.
Right.
That's great, new life, boy, girl, woohoo. But god damn, do you really need to blow something up to tell people that?
They could
I-
have just blew up a tree.
Knock the tree down. Trees explode now. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
They
science.
explode and blow up. Like what?
No,
Just light a
push it
candle.
down.
Yeah, just light a candle. There's no reason to blow up anything. In fact,
Oh
these gender reveal. I mean, I'm not sure I understand the appeal of it. It's just I guess it's a fun thing for people. So I'm not trying to rain on people's fun, but when something's already kind of been done, it's kind of old now. So
Yeah,
come up with
no,
something
you
new.
are 100% right. God,
Yeah.
these people are
It's
quit
either,
blowing shit up.
Right.
seriously, it's either a boy or a girl. It's not like you got 4
Correct.
choices coming out of there.
Right.
It's like, what's
It's-
going
Yeah.
on?
Now, if it was anything other than a boy or a girl, then go ahead and have the pirate.
Exactly.
Have at it, Hoss.
Right.
Oh
Um,
God.
So we have the fires in California going on. We have the floods down in the Gulf, and then, like I said before, we have 5 hurricanes forming, unheard of, off in the Atlantic right now. I bring all these up because I'm sorry, and the part of the major ice shelf just fell off into the ocean the other day. I forgot how big it was, but it's bigger than a state. We'll say Florida. I can't remember just cause, but it just fell off into the ocean. A huge portion of
Done.
this ice shelf just melted away and fell into the ocean. Global warming, climate change, all of that is real, people. Please be more aware of what you're throwing away, recycle, reuse, all of that. Like, pay attention. Also, use that and make sure you vote in people who actually care about the climate, who actually believe science, who believe scientists.
Right.
This is real, people. This is just another layer of the cake, of the 2020 shit cake. This is how many layers of the shit cake we at now? I think we have like 10.
God, it's toppled over. But if you don't mind me saying, if there's one reason, if you can't find it in your heart for some reason to vote for Joe Biden, if you're gonna make one reason, make it that one.
Right.
Boom.
I mean, it's because there's no question that administration will be able to do something about climate change. You hope they're able to do something about the race problem. You're hoping they're able to do stuff about that. And I do believe that Joe Biden will at least make his best effort to do something about the race problem.
Mhm.
But there is zero question that administration will do something about the climate. No question.
Yes. And something really has to be done. It's really affecting people. I seen a report. This was a couple years ago, and it was related to Katrina. Now, the report, when I seen it, was already old. The report came out right after Katrina, when when people were able to walk around, they were starting to rescue people. So it was during that time, but I saw it a couple years ago. And at that time, the Navy, the military arm that builds buildings and stuff, I forgot, they have a special name. Um, but everybody that's in this unit or part of the unit are like great, builders and construction workers, and they're the ones who build like the Navy bases and the secret bases and the stuff off in the mountains. Like they know what they're doing. They're good at what they do. And after Katrina, they were called in to build those like barriers, to the water surge barriers or something like that. But they were called in because that's what they specialize in, building these big fortified structures and things like that. And even back then, the general was saying that climate change affects their job because the water, sea level rises, the winds, all that affects how buildings get built, what type of materials they have to use to build those buildings, how far apart, certain buildings have to be if it's on the coast. And if you have rising sea waters, if you have crazy fluctuations in temperature, prime example, just the other day in Colorado or somewhere like that, it was freaking hot during the day, and then by afternoon it completely dropped, and it was snowing. Or I think it might have been in Arizona, but that's just an example. And when they build these buildings, again, they have to, depending on where they're building, the material, where they build it, climate change affects all of that. And the general was like, if we don't address this, the water's going to rise. We're going to have to readjust. And the way the Gulf Coast is down there now, they don't have a lot of room to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
So we have to be vigilant. We have to be aware of climate change. Again, that's just another layer in this 2020 shit cake, And we have to vote the people in office that know what they're doing, that care about their job. There are some politicians who love to be politicians, who love, to deal and get things done. You really have people like that actually care about that. And those are the people that we need in those jobs to help us live better lives. When you were talking about the DA, we said this 1,000 times on this show. The DA is one of the most important votes that you need to vote for at a local election, because it's the DA who can hold these police accountable. And I hope that they vote that punk ass DA out of office who is not going to hold those cops accountable.
Right.
This is why I always say, we've always said on the show, your local elections are just as important, if not more important, than the presidential election, because the local elections affect you immediately.
Yeah.
If you put in the wrong DA, the wrong mayor, the governor, the city council, those jobs are important and they affect you immediately. So please let this be another warning, another, I don't know, another notch, another lesson.
Yeah.
Please register to vote. And this is what I say to people who don't really care for Biden because of what he doesn't do. Vote him in and hold him accountable.
Sure.
You can hold him accountable more than you can this fuckboy in the office right now.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't like Kamala Harris, it's the same situation. Even though you don't like them, they are reasonable people. Hold them accountable. call them out. This is why we need people to be activated, why we need people, young people.
Register your kids to vote.
Yes.
We always say this.
Register them.
Frosty Knowledge always
Register
says
your
this.
kids to vote.
Brother
17,
Oreo
you
always
can
says
do
this.
it.
Register to vote.
Register
Get your kids out there.
Hey, I got another question, by the way. I don't understand why in this country that we have to even register. Why should we not just be automatically
Right.
registered to vote? I think
Voter
that's what we
suppression.
need to start doing is just everybody, as soon as you get your driver's license or whatever it is, you should automatically be registered to vote.
I think
Yep.
they're trying to do that here in Mass, because I know when you do get your permit or whatever, you can check a box to register to vote. It's not
Mhm.
automatic, but at least it gives you the opportunity to do it right then and there. Some
Yeah.
states you don't even know what to do to register to vote. They're not telling kids in school that at here at 17 you can pre-register. I pre-registered my 18-year-old at 17 so that once she turned 18, it just rolled right in. She was
Yeah.
registered and they
Yep.
sent her out whatever her polling place.
Do you know there's actually people who don't want to register to vote because they think they'll have to go to jury duty? I mean, that's really a reason why people don't want to register, which is crazy.
Is
You
that
know,
a
but
thing? Is that
huh?
is that a thing? Is that how they keep track of people?
That well, I don't know if it's different by state, but I know in the state of Florida that once you register to vote, you are now somebody that can be picked for jury duty. So I've actually heard people saying, I don't want to register because I don't want to be picked for jury duty. And
you know
like,
what? So real quick about that. Now, I personally never heard that before, but it wouldn't surprise me if people have said that. Now, I am a big fan of John Oliver. Great show.
Fantastic.
The way he breaks stuff down is
fantastic.
Funny.
Yep.
So he recently had a episode on juries. I actually had to reassess how I look at jury duty.
Yeah.
Because he was like, one of the main reasons why a lot of people get wrongfully acquitted or wrongfully accused is because of juries. And there's more people who don't want to go to jury duty because of going to jury duty. You have more people who will that fit the criteria of a person who would wrongly convict another person.
Look at Trayvon Martin. That is a prime example. When the attorneys have a very difficult job, especially defense attorneys, trying to pick a jury. So if the peers aren't coming in to be picked, how is he getting a jury of your peers if y'all I don't want to go to no jury? We have, just like we have to fill out the census, we have to do jury duty. Our voices need to be heard.
After watching that episode, I was like, yo, I might pick me.
You're right, it's important.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Black community is already sort of disadvantaged because you're only 13% of the population. So when you have such, you have a much lower population, and if you're not being represented on juries, that certainly poses a huge problem. So, and there's this idea that, if you're a Black and you're a Black jurist, that you're automatically going to find the Black person not guilty, which is definitely not true. In fact, in that very piece, they said that Black people, when they are on juries, they pay attention more to the facts of the cases. They go over the things in these juries more than any other race that goes over this thing. So I saw that piece you were talking about. It's very good, and it's something you probably want to. You can YouTube it. It's excellent.
It's excellent. I try to tell people, I recommend shows, to people to watch, but that was definitely an excellent episode, and it really did change me, my opinion of juries and going to being selected. Because I never wanted to go just because
Right. So
Jury, what?
right, and how can we talk
Why
about
would I?
right, and we're complaining about being jailed disproportionately in our jail sentences, but if we're not jurors, what do we
Full
think?
circle,
So
full
for,
circle. It
right,
made sense. I was like,
yeah,
wow, blew my mind. Again, y'all need to check it out. John Oliver, he's great. I watched it, the way he breaks it down. It's funny, it's educational. So definitely check out that episode. Um,
And I'm sorry, last thing, I don't mean to extend it, but
go ahead.
Go ahead, go right ahead.
you know, I hate to say my age here, but I am almost 50 years old. I've been called to jury duty one time in my life, you know, and I know there might be some people say, well, I've been called 3, 4, 5 times, but when you're talking about over a 30, 50-year period of your lifetime, that's nothing. You know, it's really nothing. And even the chances of getting picked to be on that jury are even less. So, you know, it's just one of those things that people, you know, and I don't know if it's a huge problem, but it's problem enough, I think, to make a difference in some votes, you know.
No, I
cast
agree.
that
I
should.
agree.
Right,
Having, I mean, it's to solve problems, you have to attack different fronts.
right,
And sometimes you have to attack different fronts at the same time. You know, it can't just be, you know, this is the path that we're going to go down and try to make it. And that may be the correct path, but there may be some side roads that are just as important to the main road. You
right,
know that, yeah, you know, we need voter reform. You know, yes, we can go down this road, but now we can work on this and we can
Yeah.
work on that. You know, there's other ways, like there's other things that we can do to affect this rather than just this is it. No, we can go this way, we can do this, you know, it's there's it I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. I apologize.
You know what? These times nowadays is going to force people to rant, and they're going to rant about some things. Sometimes even I do it a lot incoherently because I just don't understand what the hell is going on in this
right,
country. So sometimes I'll go off on a tangent. I'll be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But you know, but internally we all get it. We all get what we're talking about. We all know what we're at least trying to say. And even if all three of us were talking incoherently at some point, we still understand each other completely, you know, and I
Right.
do it all the time.
That's hilarious.
Right, right. So those are the couple headlines that I have that I want to briefly talk about. Um, so we're getting close to the end of the show. So I'm gonna do a quick little wrap up if you guys don't mind just hearing me.
Well, can we first let Brian talk about his
Oh
podcast? Tell
yes, yes.
people where to
Excuse me.
go
Yes,
to listen
horrible.
to his
Thank
podcast.
you. Yes.
Take
Let
some
us know. I
questions.
apologize.
No, thank you guys. First of all, I am very honored that you guys had me on. I hope I did not bore your audience at all. I
What's
really
that?
appreciate you guys having me on. Um, the reason why I am on this show tonight is because I discovered, well, I'll do a quick story how it happened. Is I started a podcast. It's called Run's House, and basically I just talk about what a fucking moron Donald Trump is, and you know what we need to do to get Joe Biden in office, and that's really the idea behind the show. And the way I started to market it was I would go on Twitter and I would look at the hashtags, and if there was something on there like Trump's an idiot or whatever it is, I understand I'm talking to like-minded people.
Right.
So I saw Miss Knowledge here had a comment, and she luckily allowed a direct message. So I sent her a direct message about my show, and she's very sweet. She sent me back an actual message saying, "Hey, I listened to your show and I really enjoyed it." So, you know, that's where I learned about this show, and I saw her on there, and there was some topics I wanted to talk about that I thought that she would be excellent in discussing with me on my show. So I asked her to come on, and of course she knocked it out of the park. I asked her to come on again and again. So, and I'm sure, you know, I'll ask her again along with you, Mr. McNugget. You know, like I said, last time we didn't have you on there, but but I look at the rankings of my show, and Miss Knowledge, you are still the number 3 show overall. Your second appearance was the number 3. So I do appreciate that. We're still counting on the last time you were on. So,
Nice.
but you can catch me. It's on all the forums, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Google. I was at a friend's house, my buddy Dave Farmers, and we were out back, and I said, hey, I think I just got on the Google thing. Can I try? He had the Alexa thing. He was like, yeah.
Nice.
I said, hey, Alexa, play Run's House podcast.
Oh my God.
Right
That's so
nice.
great.
It was pretty cool.
That's
So
dope.
I did dig that. So, but yeah, that's it. You can catch the show if you guys are, if you're interested in hearing about how much I think of an idiot Donald Trump is, it's prevalent on the show, and you'll hear a lot of that. But we discuss all kinds of issues, and it's not just politics. We try to discuss some things that are relevant, like race relations and stuff like that, which is very important. Not just to me, but I know to you guys, and it's what we need to do to make this country better. And unfortunately, I think that we're in a path that it's going to be very difficult for us to do that. But as we said earlier, sometimes the harder path is not always the way we want to go, but it's the way we have to go in order to get to a place where I think we'll all be happy. But I really am, I've said it before, I'm very disheartened that we're still trying to do this in 2020. I think there are Frosty Knowledge did acknowledge that we are making strides, but again, strides should have been made in the 70s. Strides should have been made in the 80s, in the 90s. And, we're still having to do things that on the surface seem like a good thing. And I hope that they do bring awareness, like the NFL and the NBA are doing some great things. But, with some people, it's also causing a lot of anger. And I'm never watching this sport again. And, to you, I say, I don't really give a shit whether or not you watch the NBA or the NFL anymore. First of all, you probably weren't watching anyway. And it's just another extension to act like an asshole. But, I would like to think that, the show does try to bring as much positivity in a world where there's just a ton of negativity. And, that's what I try to bring. So if you guys can, please subscribe to it and rate and review it if you can, because that helps me.
Yes.
No,
And
definitely.
it's a great show. I love the show. Like
Thank you so much.
I come and I work and I listen to the show.
Thank you. I
I love
appreciate
your
that.
descriptions on racists. It's just great. And you're a great ally. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm going to keep up the good fight wherever I can. And, as you said, it's not just hearing it when you see it. You got to say something. And, I try to speak up, because it's one of those things that if you guys don't have allies in the fight, then you got nothing. And I shouldn't say you have nothing. You still have the community, but it is difficult to come over. We just talked about it earlier. You're talking about 13% of the population.
Right.
So it is David versus Goliath in a way, which is really, it's a shame. And it should not be that way, because it doesn't matter what color we all are. We're all human beings. And really, at the end of the day, we're all Americans. And we have this American pride that everybody wants to take, but, I heard the saddest thing in the world. You guys played it on your show. You were talking about it when Doc Rivers, the coach of the Clippers, was talking about, how can I be, he made a comment to the point of, how can I love this country when they don't love us back? And in 2020, the fact that they're still saying that, it's heartbreaking for me to hear.
And we all say that, like, that is a thing that the whole Black community echoes, because when people say American, it's like, you almost cringe. I don't know if I ever say I'm an American. Like, have you ever said that, McNugget? Because I don't think I've ever, like,
I don't know. That's funny. I don't know.
I know I'm Black.
Well, I can tell you guys you are, first of all. Number one, I mean, you pay your taxes just like every other American.
But you never feel it, right? So every morning I wake up I know that I am a Black woman.
Yeah.
Every day of my life, that is a thought that I have every day. I don't know what it's like not to have a thought about the color of my skin. And I certainly never wake up thinking like, wow, I'm an American. I'm proud. Like, I don't, it's not a thing.
Well, may I suggest something to you based on that?
Right.
What I would suggest is wake up every day and say you're an American, because the white community or any other community doesn't determine who's an American in this country. You guys get to determine that yourselves. You were born here, you pay taxes, you do everything that Americans
Oh,
do. So
absolutely.
in a way, I almost don't, I don't like to hear it, because I don't want you to feel defeated because you feel like you have somebody telling you or making you feel like that you're not, because
Yeah.
in my estimation, again, we're all Americans. And by the way, I'm not downplaying what you're saying, because
Right.
one thing I've tried to say before, I am never going to speak for Black Americans. I'm never going to speak for women. I'm not going to speak for gay people. I'm not going to speak for somebody that is a different ethnicity as I am, because I don't walk in those shoes every day. So for me to even attempt to or try to pretend like I do is not only pretentious, but very offensive, I think, for
Yeah.
anybody to do
And
that.
it's
So
not about feeling defeated. Let me just clarify that. It's not defeated. It's more so, to me, it's not really my country, because I was taken from my ancestors were taken from where I belong. I
yeah,
don't have that language. I don't have that name. So that's still there. So it almost feels like once you start claiming like, oh, America, and then a place who's lynched, raped, robbed,
yeah.
it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm an American, and then disregard where my ancestors and where I'm truly from. So, okay, let's do this. I'm an African American.
Yeah.
That feels better to me than
But
just
just
like,
on that point, though, just realize none of us really are from America,
right,
unless you're
exactly.
a
That
native
too.
Indian.
That
We're all
too.
You
transplant.
have a
Yeah.
different background than I do.
Right.
So, you come across it more honestly than I do, for sure. But none of us are from this
Yeah,
country.
it's
And this
true.
idea
It's
that
true.
we're not allowing immigrants, or we're not, like, who the hell are you people? You would not
Right.
be here if we did not allow immigrants. And now you don't get to change the rules and determine
Right.
how this country uh, operates. I mean, it is just
Absolutely.
outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
No, I agree. I
good
It's
agree.
word.
2020. Like I said,
Yeah.
I keep saying that. I'm stunned. I can't get over that.
Ah, this was a good show.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I enjoy being on. I really appreciate you
Yeah,
guys
this
having
is
me
like
on.
a living room talk. This was good. It's like politics in the living room and the closet.
And we're all on the same page. We all want to kill each other.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. This is great. Oh my goodness, good show.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna wrap it up with a quick little show wrap up.
Yeah.
Kind of like a summary of everything we kind of talked about. Yeah, we say this every time. It always comes down to it.
Yeah.
Vote, people. A lot is going on in the world. Um, the West Coast is on fire, the South is drowning, and the East Coast is just in political upheaval. Um, Again, there's a lot of layers to this 2020 shit cake that we're going to be eating for the rest of the year. But we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay optimistic. We have to stay hopeful.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of evilness in the world. There's a lot of just evil people. There's just a lot going on. And there's only so much that individuals can take. There's just so much society can take. So we have to stay vigilant. Part of that, again, like I said, we gotta register to vote. If you are registered to vote, you have to get out there and vote. Because we need the people in office that can make the laws, that cares about the people, the workers. It's not about the major corporations. It's about us. Um, I've heard it in different little areas. Um, but the people make up the country. The country doesn't make up the people. It's us, the individuals, the people going out to work every day, whether you are a police officer or a school teacher, a bus driver, the person who picks up the trash in the morning. Those are the individuals that make a country great. The small businesses, the mom and pop stores, little kid opening up the water stand, in the summertime when you go by because you thirsty and they want to make some money. Like those are the people that make a country great. Those the individuals that come together for, a greater cause, starting like co-ops and things like that, building communities, building friendships. That's what it's about, and things like this. We're coming together. We got Mr. Run all the way from Florida coming on the show with people from Boston, with different backgrounds, but the same ideology, the same type of thinking. We may kind of get there differently, but at the end of the day, we're going to get there together, and through all the evilness and hatred, just sick shit. If we can still come together, if we can still be hopeful, for a better future. I got a son, Miss Knowledge got kids. Brother Run got nieces and nephews, and those are the ones who we want to get all this mess right. Those are the ones that we want to have a better future. Those are the ones that's going to be future presidents and politicians and business owners and teachers and doctors and lawyers and judges, not us. Our time has come. Our time didn't win. Now we can still be successful at where we're at, but our future is to make sure the ones behind us have the future.
Yeah.
Our kids, the little babies, that's who we should be focusing on. And we can't if we're running around like with our chickens with our heads cut off. And in order to make sure the ones behind us got a better future, we have to make sure that we put the people in office that can make that happen. And if we can't get the people in office that can make that happen, like the famous Chucky Finster, the famous quote he used, we're doomed. It's just that simple. So please, people, please, we just lost a dope lady in Justice Ginsburg today. Again, condolences, but we have to stay vigilant. We have to get to that ballot box. We have to vote this guy in the White House, his administration, all out. We have to be vigilant when it comes to our local elections, because, mayors and governors can help influence the president. If we have progressive mayors and governors and people in Congress and the House and the Senate, we can be better equipped for fights. If we have to, if the president is showing his ass, Democrat or Republican.
Sure.
We have to hold these people accountable. But if we don't have the right people in place to do that, we're doomed. So with that being said, that's kind of a wrap up of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any shout outs you guys want to give before we officially close? Mr. Run, any shout outs? Again, plug your show, all of that.
I'd love to, I wish I would have had a list, because I got, a good amount, a nice amount of people that listen to the show and are so complimentary. And if I wasn't on Frosty Knowledge's show, she would be certainly one of the first people I would give a shout out to.
Nice.
Yes. But I thank, everybody for listening, subscribing, downloading the show, because it's one of those things that you kind of just throw yourself out there, you put yourself out there, and you have no idea if anybody's even listening or if anybody even cares. So, and for me, it's sort of, I've said it before, it's kind of like a therapeutic thing. So sometimes I'm not even sure I care if anybody, I mean, I shouldn't say I don't care if anybody's listening, but if they're not, I still enjoy doing it. So, I do, there's a lot of people out there that I appreciate listening to the show and giving your feedback, and if you can, subscribe to it, download it,
Right.
rate and review if you can, because with Google Analytics, all that stuff, I wish I was much better at this kind of production and stuff for the show, and there's people out there smarter than I am when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I just flip on the mic and just start rambling about some shit and go on. So, but my shout outs are to you guys, for having me on. I really appreciate it. As I said, you may see me on your Thursdays. I'm chiming in every once in a while, so I do actually watch your show, and I do appreciate it. If I can't watch it, I'll go back and watch some of the replays as well. So thank you guys very, very much.
No, thank you, Miss Knowledge. Anything you want to say to the people?
Of course. I want to give thank you to the usual suspects: Mary, Michelle, John, Edgar. I saw him up there. Keiko, DA, whoever else that I'm missing. Thank you guys. I want to give a shout out to Kiko Davis. That is the first Black woman to own a bank. Kiko Davis, thank you. It is called the First Independent Bank in Detroit. It's one of 10 of the largest banks. And that's Kiko Davis, a Black woman, is the first Black woman to own a bank. Also, the Duns Josephine Hotel in Miami. Don't know if you've heard of that. That is a Black hotel in Miami, boutique hotel, geared towards the Harlem Renaissance. I saw pictures. It is a beautiful hotel. They got pictures of like Miles Davis and, just not Miles Davis because it's the Harlem Renaissance, but you know what I mean? It's all like the old school kind of stuff. It's a boutique hotel. It's fancy. However, they are taken into a section of their hotel. They've made it for homeless COVID recoverers. So yeah, they've sectioned off. There's no TV, nothing special in the rooms. But while they are supposed to be, quarantined, they quarantine, and they're letting them quarantine in their boutique hotel. It is Black owned. It is the Duns Josephine Hotel. If I am in Miami, I am going to that hotel because it is beautiful.
I want to check that out. Shoot.
Yes.
Come on, go.
You guys stop by and visit me too, by the way, if you're coming.
Exactly.
That's why we going. That's why we down. Yeah,
exactly. And shout out to you guys, McNugget, Oreo, and Frosty B Run. You're amazing. And that's all I want to say.
And by the way, last thing I wanted to mention, because I see on here that John Paul was asking if I was aware that there was a Run's house already. I can tell you, yes, I'm 100% aware, as I was telling them before I came on the show. My last name is Rundle. They used to call me Run DLE in high school, because Run DMC was huge. And I would love to be big enough on my show to be able to use the song Run's House as an intro, because it would obviously be perfect. But something tells me I hope I have this problem where it gets big enough where they go, nah, you're not using that name anymore. So I hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be short-lived or not, but.
That's awesome.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. No, a big shout out to you again. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you guys.
This was a dope show. Had a great time. Big shout out to my lady. I know she can hear me. Don't worry, we're gonna get some food.
And subscribe to this show too, by the way.
Yes,
everybody.
thank
if
you.
You're somebody here that came on because of me, which I don't know if there was or there wasn't, but please subscribe to this show.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you.
Please subscribe, like, share.
We're trying to
all
get
of that.
1,000, right?
Yeah,
We trying to
Well,
get 1,000.
yeah, we do baby steps here. Though.
Forget that. We're going big.
We're going big.
We're going
Listen to my
big.
man Frosty run, man. He's speaking the knowledge right
We
now,
want
man.
1,000 by next week.
By midnight.
By midnight.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. But
Awesome.
shout out to all the usual suspects. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I know 25% of y'all that are watching are subscribed. We got analytics in the background. So please, if you watch the show and you haven't hit that subscription button, please hit it. It's free. It don't cost you a thing. But thank you for everybody that's tuning in. We are up to 405 subscribers. That's awesome. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I haven't looked at the list, so I can't shout you out personally, but thank you all for subscribing. Please share these videos. We're trying to bring the information to the people. We got guests coming all the way from Florida on the show, giving us their insight. Please help us. We want to get bigger. We want to grow. Hopefully we can get big enough. We can get a studio. But that's future goals. Yeah. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by. Please tune in next week. We're going to have another dope guest in the building. But with that being said, if you two, Mr. Randall and Miss Knowledge, if y'all can hang back after real quick once we leave.
And before you go, I don't want to end on a negative note, but there is a little bit more breaking news.
Oh, we got some more breaking news. That's what we do. Go right ahead. What do you got for us?
It's not good, and we talked about it earlier, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will vote on President Donald Trump's pick to replace the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Well, that's not even a surprise, actually.
So hopefully there is, and unfortunately, I'm not knowledgeable enough to understand whether or not that could be blocked or not, and that's certainly something we'll figure out later on. But I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, totally. No, we needed that. We break news on the show. We break news.
We're newsbreakers.
Yeah, that's why we know that. That's why we know they were celebrating. For him to actually tweet that now, hours after her death, is like, you're a motherfucker. Like, seriously.
You're not allowed to talk about gun control when somebody's shot and killed.
Exactly, you gotta wait.
Too early.
Now's not the time.
Now's not the time.
Kids are dead, but now is not the time. You're right. This is their. And it's unfortunate because Mitch McConnell is going to win again.
Oh, he's in Kentucky. So, exactly. What do you expect? But, the fact that there's even a formidable opponent, kind of maybe says something. But but you said it before, Frosty Knowledge, that we keep talking about the presidential race. The Senate race is just as important. There is a good chance.
If we get that Senate, even if Trump is president, we can impeach him again and again.
This is exactly why we need 1,000 subscribers by midnight, so we can get the word out there in all the different states.
Yes. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
I had a great time. Please tune in next week. Again, we'll have another dope guest on the show, but we will definitely have Mr. Frosty Run back on the show.
I'd love it.
And on a future show.
Yes.
So he will be back. Get used to seeing him. Definitely subscribe to his podcast. Where can they get your show at one more time before we go?
Go to all the major ones, Apple, Spotify. You can ask Alexa for it, Google and Stitcher and all the Pandora. I think you can find it on now too. So all those places, and just subscribe, rate and review. I know I said it a few times, but if you can help me with that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, there it is. And I'll make sure to get all that information from him, so we can have that also in the description below after the show.
Excellent.
With that being said, y'all have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next week. And we out.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Peace.
Bye, usual suspects.
Peace.
Let me know. Still says live. Hi, B-Run.
What's happening? Oh, thank you guys. That was fun.
It still says live on YouTube. So it's like he disconnected himself and he kept